Welcome back. Today I want to teach you how the coordinates of a figure's vertices change after a translation. So you know the drill. Make that the title on the next free page of your math notebook. After you have done that, mark that page, close it up, clear your area, put everything down, all the things you need to do to concentrate and do a great job until it's time to write. Last couple of days, we talked about transformations to figures in the coordinate plane. Collectively, these are called transformations. And yesterday we worked primarily on translations, which, as this person has noted with the SL, are kind of like sliding the figure along. I don't like how they slid this one. I didn't teach you to do it that way ever at an angle. I think that's risky. I taught you to go, like that. I think it'll work out better for you. But same kind of thing. And again, yeah, translations are literally just sliding the figure to a new location. We also talked about labeling vertices. The original figure will usually have letters as the names of its vertices, and the new one after the translation will usually have these A prime, B prime, C prime labels on them just to note the difference and let you know which is the original figure and which is the new figure. So yesterday we did these translations. So for instance, we translated this quadrilateral down 4 and 2 to the left. Let me do that again super fast. X 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 and 1 2 3 4 1 2 and 1 2 3 4 1 2 and 1 2 3 4 1 2. And so we made the new version of it yesterday. We just kind of did the transformation. And you'll notice as I draw this, I have a different question for you today. Not what happened or, do the translation, but I actually have a question about the coordinates, right? Oh, I don't. Oh, that's what we did yesterday. So cool. So that's not my new question for today, but I am going to keep that and show you. Sorry, I didn't realize it's still on Connect. That's what we did yesterday. So after you do that, here's the question I want to ask today. What will happen to the coordinates of the vertices after the translation? This is the same translation I just did. So on the new figure, what happens to the coordinates of the vertices? Let me start on this one. Let me go back. Do it on here. So since I've already translated it for you, let's talk about coordinates. So first thing I'm going to do to answer that question is see what the coordinates of each of the vertices are. So for instance, on X, its original coordinates of X, it is 8, -3. And then Y is 6, 5, both positive. Z is 2, 5, both positive. And W is 2, 2, both positive. So that's the coordinates of the original vertices in the original figure. Let's look at the vertices of the new figure. So X prime is 6, -7. And let's start one at a time and look at that. So let's look at what happened to the coordinates of X after the translation. So you'll notice we translated it 4 units down. Notice down on the y-axis. Down is in the negative direction on the y-axis. Up is in the positive direction on the y-axis. And similarly to that, 2 units to the left on the x-axis. Left is negative direction and right is the positive direction on the x-axis. So we moved it down. So we moved it in the negative direction this way and in the negative direction this way. And you'll notice that that's what happened to the coordinates. So we moved it 4 units down. Up and down is the y-axis. So if we look at the y-coordinate of our original figure and then the y-coordinate of our new figure, it changed by, we added -4 to get the new coordinate. We moved it 4 units down and its coordinate changed by -4. Same thing on the move to the left, that's on the x-axis, so we'll look at the x-coordinate. It started at 8, changed to 6, that is a change. We added -2 to it, which is what we should get when we move something 2 units to the left. So we moved it 4 down and to the left, and by virtue of that, we added -2 to the x and -4 to the y. Same thing's going to happen on all of the other points on this same figure. Let's find another easy one to find. Let's do z and z prime. So the original the original coordinates of z were 2, 5. The coordinates of z prime here are 0, 1. 0 on the x. It doesn't go left or right, so 0, and then up 1. And same thing, so we moved it 4 units down. So down and up are the y coordinate, and the y coordinate changed from 5 to 1, which is adding -4 to it. It changed by -4, and we moved it 4 units down. That makes sense. It changed by 4, and down is negative on the y-axis, so it moved 4 in the negative direction. We also moved it 2 to the left. Left and right is the x-coordinate, and it changed from 2 to 0, which is adding -2. So it changed by -2. It's exactly what we saw here. So if I go to the next slide, we also yesterday translated it up and to the right. Same thing will happen again there. So I'm going to do that translation real quick. Actually, I would go one point at a time. It might be easier to see it if I don't draw the whole figure first. So let's start with x. X's original coordinates are 8, -3. So watch carefully what happens when I do 3 units up and 1 unit to the right. So up, that's the y coordinate, the y-axis, and we're going to go up 3. And then we're going to go to the right, that's on the x coordinate. We're going to go by 1. And you're going to see the coordinates change by exactly that amount. The x coordinate, which is the first one, is going to change by +1 because we're going in the positive direction. And the y coordinate is going to change by +3 because we're going in the positive direction. So let me do that translation. 3 up, 1 to the right. That's the new spot for x prime. And you'll notice x prime's coordinates are 9, 0. And same deal. Look what happened. We went, let's start with the x coordinate. On the x-axis, we went 1 to the right. And our x coordinate changed by 1, +1. And we went from -3 to 0, which is adding 3. And we went 3 up. So the coordinates changed by exactly this much, and up is in the positive direction, right is in the positive direction. Same thing when I do, say, y. If its original coordinates are 6, 5. If I translate it 3 up and 1 to the right to my new location for y, that coordinate would be 7, 8. And same thing, notice our x changed by 1, +1, and our y changed by +3. So you can predict what's going to happen to coordinates in a translation even without the translation being done. Okay, let's do one of our examples from yesterday. So go ahead. You can open up to yesterday's if you want, if you haven't, or if you'd like to draw it again for a new example, go ahead. And we'll do this one together. All right. So let's do so notice the question here. What will happen to the coordinates of the vertices after it is translated this and this? So before I even prove it to you, we can talk about what's going to happen before we even do it. Down is the y coordinate, up and down. So it's going to change the y coordinate by 6 units down is going to be by -6. It's going to move everything down on the y coordinate by 6 or by -6. And left on the x-axis, the x-axis is your left and right axis. And so same thing, it's going to change in that direction by -9. That's what's going to happen to the coordinates. They're going to change exactly what you see here. So let's label that A, B, C. And let's do a few. I always start in A. I like to do alphabetical order. So 6 down, 9 to the right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. There's my new A. And before I even do the rest, let's just look at those coordinates and prove. We're looking for these two changes to happen here, right? So let's start. The original A was located at 2, 5. A prime is located at -7, -1. And look what happened to those. We said the y coordinate would change by -6. It did. And we said the x coordinate would change by -9. It did. So it matches exactly what we saw there when we move the coordinates. So the coordinates change by exactly what you see here. We can do b as well. Down 6 over 9. And let's see what happened. B's original coordinates were 2, 2. We said the y coordinate would change by -6. So let's see, b prime is at -7, -4. And it did. So b, we said the y coordinate would change by -6. It went from 2 to -4. That is indeed a change of -6. And we said that the x coordinate would change by -9. Went from 2 to -7. That is indeed a change of -9. So that's exactly what happens. As you translate the figure, it changes by the amount and the direction given to you in the translation. Let's do the other. Maybe we'll just do point C in the other. I think no need to overdo this too much. C was originally at 5, 2. And if we do this one, 1 unit up, so remember that's the y coordinate. Up and down is the y coordinate. And if it goes up 1, that is y change on the y by +1. Up is positive. 3 units to the right. The right is the x direction, the x axis direction. 3 to the right, so it should change the x by +3. And of course, when we do it, 1 up, 3 to the right, there's my new C point. That's going to be exactly what happened. Its coordinates are 8, 3. We predicted the y coordinate would change by 1. It did. And the x coordinate would change by +3. It did. So that's what happens. So we can kind of go back and answer those questions now. Now that you kind of get the hang of what happens, we can kind of answer the questions like that. So 6 units down means the y coordinate will change by -6. 9 units to the left. The x coordinate will change by -9. Same thing kind of down here. 1 unit up. Up is the y direction, so it'll be the y coordinate will change by +1. Up is positive in the y-axis. And 3 units to the right means the x coordinates change by +3. So it's kind of a bit of work and a lot of thinking, but as you get the hang of this, you start to be able to do this real quickly. You can just kind of like, once you've done enough of these to trust it, you can just kind of look at this and be like, oh, that's what's going to happen. Oh, that's what's going to happen. And it works pretty good. If this was confusing at all, I apologize, especially with my whole starting to do the I do when I was still on the Connect. If you need to rewatch any of this to get the hang of it again, please do. If not, you are all set. See you tomorrow.